But before I start interviewing you or podcasting you, I would first like to start with a very casual question. How has been the experience so far throughout the day?
Ekta, thank you so much for um, having us here and giving this opportunity to present. The day has been fantastic, just as last year, because how I look at it is that I think this is a place where we can get everyone from the industry who's enthusiastic about how do we make collections take that leap step, right? So it's been going great so far. I'm loving it.
Great, great. So I would just like to highlight the intent that we have. So the intent behind doing the Bharat collection, or specifically collection, is doing a landmark kind of an event where we get experts and leaders from collection risk. Because collection is one such topic that has been not hyped more. We talk a lot about BFSI, insurance, and BFC, but we don't talk specifically about collection. So
Yeah.
that was the reason and that was the intent to do this event. And thank you for supporting us every time, being here. And when you take the stage, you actually rock. The energy that you bring is really amazing, and we really, really appreciate it. And the sessions are house full.
I'll try to inspire everyone as much as possible because I don't think I alone can make that change happen. So we need to go together with one common mission on how do we make collections awesome, right? So that, like what you said, it needs a spotlight. I think from top down.
Yeah, we have to work together to bring this collection ecosystem from here to the next level altogether. So great. So I had a few, not questions, but few points that I wanted to discuss with you in this podcast. I would also like to refer and read it
Sure.
out. So Ananth, before DPDzero and the leadership role, what personal experience or insight first shaped your thinking about collection interest?
So I think this goes back to 2019, 2022. I was at Setu, which is a fintech infrastructure company, and there I worked on this product called Bharat Bill Payment System, BBPS, along with NPCI, which enables consumers like you and I to make bill payments on apps like PhonePe, Google Pay, and Paytm, right? And I played a major role on launching this new category called as loan repayments, right? I think that's where I got a taste of collections first, because all the lenders were so excited because they could now collect from all these modern day UPI apps, right? So post that journey, I was still sort of thinking about what does it take to drive access to formal credit, right? How can you accelerate uh, credit in India, right? We looked at three important pillars where lending runs on today, right? So one is the acquisitions, the underwriting, and then collections, right? We spent some time on acquisitions, right? And this was the time of 22, where there was a lot of fintech infrastructures that was coming up. So much was happening on disbursals. There were so many startups who had gotten funded. So we didn't feel that there was a problem that another startup could solve for, right? And then we looked at underwriting, right? So underwriting was, however, kept so close to heart with every lender, right? So they didn't want to share what they do, or there wasn't a product play possible, right? So that was underwriting, and then we finally saw collections, right? And that shocked me, right? Because I thought I came from the BBPS days, right? It was apps. I thought everything is streamlined, one button, and money comes back. But I was very shocked to see that India did not have any infrastructure at all. Every lender, every financial institution was reinventing the wheel, right? So building small agencies spread across the country, and it was those small agencies that India is dependent on to keep growing, right? So I think that had to change. So that's where we saw the opportunity that India needs an infrastructure that's going to turbocharge lending, right? Because collections is that important, right? As much as disbursals. So that was the moment where we decided that we're going to build India's best collections company.
Great. Nice to know your vision and the purpose behind doing that. Now talking about the strategic part. So we talk about reducing delinquencies to zero. Now it sounds ambitious, of course, but what was the moment that you believe that collection in India need a complete mindset shift, like you spoke about? The three
Yeah,
pillars,
yeah,
yeah?
yeah, yeah. So, see, similarly, if you look at a borrower, right? What is collections? Right? Collections is a function that starts after a borrower misses a repayment, right? But what if you could look at the borrower and understand what was the situation of this borrower, right? Or what were the cash flows about this borrower? What were the past repayment behavior of this borrower? And proactively start engaging, right? Why do you want to do a post mortem
Exactly.
when you can start treating it early, right? So I think that is one big mindset shift that I want to see in the industry, because so far everyone thinks that collections will start after the customer becomes a delinquent customers. But why can't you start building relationships early? And we have seen results by working with a lot of financial institutions. Some of them, they just disburse a loan and they push the borrower onto our platform. So we ensure we are always in touch with the borrower, so that we can predict. Correct. Rather than do postmortem, right? Exactly. Rather than why were you not able to make a payment versus we know that these are the borrowers who might have a challenge next month because they'll not be able to make a payment. See, India is one medical bill away from defaulting, right? So that's the state, right? And it's very important to take proactive measures. And that's how, when the proactive measures, the changes in the mindset, along with the new age channels, right? All these different communication channels, instead of working parallelly, if they start working with each other, I think what we are looking for is definitely possible in the near future.
So when you say that you start thinking before the borrower thing starts, yeah. So do you mean to say that empathy thing starts right from there? Yeah, because I think it plays a very important role, because we see collection people just calling and being very harsh in communication. So that's where I think empathy plays a very, very important role.
Yeah, today I think the problem is people think that empathy is an option. It is not an option, right? It is table stakes.
Yeah.
I don't know why we forgot, but humans have to be treated like humans first, right? I think that's very important, and that needs to come back. Otherwise, I don't see, if the borrowers lose trust on the system, they're going to go back borrowing money from informal sources, which is what we want to avoid, right? We want borrowers to be borrowing from formal institutions, right? And if that part doesn't change, the formal penetration that we are looking at is going to remain a dream.
Yeah. So my next question was actually on the empathy part that we were talking about. So as I said, there's a growing focus on the ethical customer-centric approach. So how can technology actually help the lenders improve recoveries by adopting their empathic values?
See, one of the things that I strongly believe is that not everyone is bad. Okay, probably 1% of the people are bad, right? And that could be common across any country, right? 99% are good. Today the problem is, even that 99% is treated like the 1%,
Very true.
right? So that is the problem. Now, how we sort of look at it, right? So because at DPD0 we really understand who is the person on the other side, right? That's our first approach, right? I want to understand the borrower as much as possible. And broadly, we have profiled defaulters into many buckets, right? Or personas that we call this as. So there are certain set of borrowers who are supportive defaulters. We call them supportive defaulters, right? What does it mean is, they're not bad, but they want some kind of a support from the financial institution. It could be in terms of information, it could be in terms of any issue that they've faced, right? Because it's not solved, they've not made a payment. It could be as simple as, I have a credit card and I have a mobile number that I used in the past. Now I have raised a support ticket to change my mobile number. It's not happened. So some of the borrowers wait to not pay the payment so that someone will contact them so that they can get their support query solved. I was shocked when I heard a bunch of borrowers giving me this reason, right? So there are supportive defaulters who are many in number, in fact, right? Then there are folks like bargaining defaulters, right? So for example, I have been a good customer of this financial institution for the last 12 months, and for the first month I have missed this EMI, and I have been slapped with a 500 rupee penalty, right? So this is very unfair, guys. You just have to remove it, I will make a payment. It's called bargaining, right? Then there are circumstantial defaulters, right? Like I said, right, I genuinely had a job loss. What can I do, right? So first I need to take care of myself and the family, and then everything else, right? So there are circumstantial defaulters. Then there are escapist defaulters. These are slightly on the tricky area, right? They tend to pretend like a good borrower, and then they they avoid all your calls. They're the ones blocking your number, right? They ghost you, right? And finally there are the intentional defaulters, right? This is the 0.1%, which are the real tricky customers, right? All of these different personas have to be treated in a very different way, right? And that's how we solve it at DPD0, right? Every borrower has to be treated uniquely, right? And when that happens, you know how the borrowers have to be treated based on the scenario, based on the situation that they are in, so that both the parties benefit, right? On the financial institutions, they need to benefit so that they can get maximum money recovered. On the other side, the borrowers need to know, or need to feel that they are being cared about, right? So today they feel that no one cares about them. So that's the role and responsibility I believe we at DPD0 have, right, to maintain that balance, without which the system cannot scale.
So this is an interesting customer-centric approach that you talk about by categorizing the defaulters and understanding very like it's a very important thing for me also to understand. Thank you for enlightening me with this kind of thing. Now the very last conversation that I would like to have, like if you look 3 to 5 years down the line, where do you see collection industry heading? Or I would say, what will separate the lenders who within collection from those struggling to adapt? Again, I think the point you told, that categorizing the defaulters, actually having a customer-centric approach will be helpful. But still, I want your take and your thoughts on that.
See, I feel in 3 to 5 years, right? Um, if lenders are still adamant on using their traditional approach, it's going to leave them behind. So what do I mean by that, right? So today I was talking about it, right? We have added roughly about $1 trillion in retail credit. It's taken us 40 years, but the next $1 trillion is going to happen in 5 years, and that will be completely captured by the lenders who adopt to the new age of collections, right? So lenders are going to miss out on growth if they don't adopt the new way of collecting, right? And the new way of collecting is not by buying bits and pieces, trying to stitch it together, but to find scalable infrastructure and completely outsource, right? So that is how I think the future is going to look like. The future is going to be a button, right? The button that says "Get my money back." They press it and the money comes back, right? So until lenders don't adopt to it, the growth will not happen as fast as how we expect it to.
So great, Ananth. Thank you so much. Interesting tips. This was very quick, but amazing insights. I really admire the vision that DPDzero has set for the collection industry, empathizing the collection side and also focusing on the borrower side.
Yeah.
Understanding your first customer-centric approach starts from them. So wish you all the best.
Thank you so much,
Maybe associate for more events, and I see DPDzero growing like anything in this industry.
Thank you so much, Ekta, and I think we both should keep doing the same work for the industry.
The vision aligns,
Yeah.
so the goals there.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful chatting.
Thank you so much.